Hi, hello and welcome to Sandy's Cricket Updates. In this video, we are going to be looking at the review of game number 3, the third and final league game of Geo Women's T20 Challenge between Supernovas and Trailblazers. The pitch that was used for the series game was the one that was used in the first game of the curtain opener against Velocity and Supernovas. The surface where the ball was really coming onto the bat rather than the surface that was used for the game between Velocity and the Trailblazers. Harmanpreet Kaur won the toss and she opted to bat first because it was really surprising that due factor everything is going to come into play, but she opted to bat first, saying that scoring runs on the board we will know what to do and how to defend the total, but that really worked well for them. Shamari Attapattu and Priya Punya opened for them. Priya Punya and was really looking, wasn't able to get the ball on the bat nicely. She wasn't able to get the timing. She wasn't able to clear the infield. She was struggling a lot. But Chamari Attapattu on the other end was demolishing. He started hitting boundaries. Instead of Eccleston, they started with Deepti Sharma alongside with Julan Goswami. Julan Goswami really bowled it tight, just gave away 2 runs in the first over. Then came Deepti Sharma for Chamari Attapattu, the off spinner against a left-hander. But still, Chamari Attapattu was really solid. Her sweep shots, her natural ones that to play straight down the ground really came into play. She came dancing down the track to clear the long on and long off boundaries, and her sweep shots came in really handy. Also, the thing was Deepti Sharma didn't come around the wicket for the natural angle to get the ball to angle into the left-hander, because that brings in the equation of LBW and might take sweep out of the equation. But she was bowling over the wicket, which really helped Chamari Attapattu as well. She was bowling to her strength to sweep it quite easily. Also, she took on Julan Goswami as well. The first 2 overs of Julan Goswami was really calm. She just gave away 2 runs. But on the 3rd over of Julan Goswami, she was taken for runs by Chamari Attapattu. She hit Julan Goswami for a 6, and there was a leg bye which ran away for boundary, and a wide delivery which was stopped by Richard Josh. It went for boundary. That really created pressure on Julan Goswami as well, because the 3rd over that she bowled gave away 11 runs, which really also the leg byes won't count to her runs, but it was a 15-run over that really made up for the poor start that Priya Punya had. Also, when Eccleston came back and was introduced into the attack on the 5th over, Priya Punya already played 12 deliveries for just 3 runs, but she knows what the pitch acts like, the bounce and the nature of the wicket. She started to hit Eccleston really nicely. She came down the track and hit over a deep mid wicket and all, and she started to accelerate again as well. Rajeshwari Gaikwad was introduced, but there was no concern or issue for Chamari Attapattu to clear the boundaries. He had a fielder at deep square leg, deep mid wicket, long on, long off, covering all her bases. The shots that she plays as a sweep for the slog sweep, they had a deep square leg and deep mid wicket. If she goes down the ground, they had a long on and long off. Also, they started to bring the long on and long off bit straighter to cut those angles to make the catches bit to be taken easily, but she dominated completely. Her slog sweep still was able to reach the boundaries. She was still able to clear the long on and long off boundaries. Yes, there was a couple of catches being dropped, but still the way she connected the ball was really solid. The Andra Dottin was exceptional in the field. The save she made was extraordinary well, but she was dropping sitters. That was the concern, because you're saving the impossible ones and attempting the impossible ones, but dropping the dollies. Really, that caused the pressure for the Trailblazers. But still, finally at the 11th over mark, the Shalma Khatun was able to provide the breakthrough. Once Priya Punya really started hitting, she also looked danger on the end, because Chamari Attapattu was always she scored at a strike rate of around 175 in the power play, and she carried with a strike rate of around 135 to 40 consistently throughout the innings. But Priya Punya, once she looked dangerous, she lost the wicket. An excellent catch from Deepti Sharma two fielders were converging it, the deep mid wicket and a long off fielder, but long on fielder. But Deepti Sharma finally managed to clinch, pull up a blinder to dismiss Priya Punya. And then came in Harmanpreet Kaur. They started to build a partnership, but still they weren't able to stop Chamari Attappattu from scoring runs. She started scoring freely, and timeout came. And at the end of 16th over, it looked like the last 4 overs they scored around 117 runs. It could have been, if they two have stayed with the start Chamari Attappattu had, there was 100 really on. If she could have scored those extra 30 to 40 runs, it would have been 150 and 160. It could have really made the big difference, but they picked up the wicket at the right time. Harleen Deol, she just came in. She flighted the delivery, which really caused Attappattu to lose a wicket. Hemalata took a catch at long off to dismiss Chamari Attappattu. But from there, they just the Supernovas pulled the game back. They inflicted plenty of runouts. Sorry, Trailblazers pulled the game towards their end. There was plenty of opportunity created by Harleen Deol, but plenty of catches was dropped as well. Also, there was misfields in the field which allowed the ball to reach the boundaries. On the field, they gave away around 10 to 15 runs additionally, but they also saved a few good ones as well. Like the save from Deendra Doughton really helped them at least. Also, they really had a solid effort in the field. Jillian Goswami picked up the wicket of Jemima Rodriguez. When she came in, it was a soft dismissal, and Jemima already had another failure. Her poor form continues. They inflicted plenty of runouts to dismiss them to 146. 146 was not such a big target to chase on, but the way Doughton started the innings looked like they will be chasing it at quick time. He started with a 6. Doughton hit 6 in the first over. The fourth delivery was a 6 and fifth delivery went to a boundary. So she started dominating the first over. 11 runs were scored, but Smriti Mandhana wasn't able to get the ball on the middle. She was really struggling throughout the innings. Catch was dropped at mid-off. Catch was dropped at mid-long, mid-on. So she was serving dangerously as well, but on the other end, Doughton really eased the pressure off. She hit Radha Yadav, she hit Anuja. After the end of power play, they scored really around 43 runs. Velocity scored 50 runs without losing a wicket. Both were wicket, they haven't lost a wicket, so it looked like the game was on an even note. But the wicket of Taylor Doughton was inflicted there by an LBW by Shakira Seleman. They didn't go for review. It was the biggest mistake. It looked the line of her leg when the ball hit was on the leg stump. It looked clearly, probably it might have been even an umpire's call, but they didn't review. But it ended up to be a big mistake because when the ball tracking came, it definitely missed the leg stump by a margin, the decent margin. So which really cost them the game as well, I would say. Richard Josh just came in, hit long on and long off, was inside the circle. She really smashed that one on the. She hit the first delivery above the bowler's head for a boundary, and the next delivery she attempted the same. She came down the track but completely missed the line of the ball to be bowled by Shakira Seleman. Completely the game turned towards them. Smriti Mandhana wasn't able to time the ball till the 10th over. They were really struggling. Smriti Mandhana scored was around 25 for 36 deliveries. There was a time for her to accelerate. When she tried to accelerate, she lost her wicket. She scored a 6 though, and Deepti Sharma joined the party. She started to score a bit of runs, but Anuja Patil also had a really bowled well to pick up a soft dismissal of Smriti Mandhana that really allowed them to come back in the game. But the way Harleen Deol and Dayal and Hemlata came up the order with Radha Yadav dismissal, because it was a sharp. The ball bounced a bit higher than she anticipated. She tried to cut the ball, got the edge, and was taken by the wicketkeeper. Then came Harleen Deol. She started dominating. Her quick fire innings really gave them an edge. It was too long that Poonam Yadav didn't get the ball. She almost came on to bowl the 17th over, but she was hit for runs. I was really surprised that she bowled an off spinner as well in the third ball of her over. So she also brought the variations in the table, because being a leg spinner, to grip the ball and do was really hard, which ended her bowling two couple of short ones, which allowed Harleen Diol to shuffle across, and she hit it over deep mid wicket for a couple of boundaries, which really frustrated Harmanpreet Kaur because of the loose deliveries, the shorter ones coming from the experienced campaigner. At the over was 8 down, 9 raider in the final over. They pulled it off. They lost the wicket of Harleen Doyle trying to go over the head of the infield at 23-yard circle, was caught by Anuja Patil, and finally in the last ball 4 runs was needed. Eccleston wasn't able to make a decent contact to get the ball to the boundary line. So Supernovas won the game at final over, and they, with a victory and the net run rate, Trailblazers and Supernovas are going into the final. It's going to be a crucial game. The defending champion Supernovas, will they be crowned as champion again, or we are going to see a new champion Trailblazers?